Adam Hole will kick it away. And he goes through the end zone for a touchback. He also made sure that Jerry Neuheisel would be calling the plays. A Bruin through and through. And on the game's first play, Lateef Thomas, Rick Neuheisel's son. He was a former MVP of a Rose Bowl, I might add. They only bring 3, and he's going deep for Gilmer. Yeah, that back end of the defense of John Butler's is the strongest point of the Huskers. That ball was muffed, and a beautiful job by Carroll to get this boot away, end over end to Barney. And look out as he gets it all the way up to the 39 before being buried. Magnificent job by Carroll after getting that wayward snap. He's completed 16 out of 19 this season. And you're going to see a lot of this tonight. Spun down after picking up the first down, and just as you authored, he mentioned nothing about coming home. Nothing this week. He is a cool cat. Emmett Johnson, number 21. Another guy you'll see a lot of all evening long per game is Johnson. Look at that. Yeah, and he'll catch it out of the backfield as well or better than anybody in the college game. Lateef to Hunter, and Isaiah Hunter has it inside the red zone at the 15. Emmett Johnson remains the setback. Look out. And he burrows his way down to the 10. The line to make for a first and goal is the 5. Second down and 5. Johnson! And he got that far, right to the line to make. It'll be first and goal.
Not afraid to call this game freely, so a throw outside is not off the table.
4 first downs on 6 plays. Johnson wrapped up at the point of attack this time. Probably helped him a lot in preparation for this game. Johnson, extra effort. John Vaughn's coming through there to cut him down. Only has 5. Third and goal here. Out pattern, it is caught at the goal line. Touchdown. We welcome those of you watching some hoops.
Bat.
For Lateef, 18 yards, and he got 14 yards rushing. And only 1 third down for the 5 first downs that they had. He'll be updated by us and, of course, on his phone from his relatives and fellow fans. Davion Thomas.
Early enough, right? You have to work on the feet of Iamaleava. When his feet are right, he's a talented quarterback, and his ability shines through.
Speaking of feet, he'll use them.
And Nico Iamaleava, he looks like a totally different quarterback from the beginning of the season.
Oh, nice deep by Iamaleava. Second down and 4. Out of the shotgun, a sidearm sling that's incomplete. Flores was the intended receiver. Third down and 4. They have freed him up, and this offense now, being authored by that young man, Jerry Neuheisel, fits him perfectly. And using those feet makes him even more compelling. That's a first down to midfield. And the book on this Nebraska defense is to attack them with the run game. That secondary of theirs is elite. Ahead goes Jalen Berger. He checks into the backfield along with Anthony Frias, number 22, and a marker comes down. False start, the preliminary indication.
False start. 72 of the offense.
Second down, 11. They run against the blitz, and Woods runs right into it at about the 40. Redshirt junior out of Miami, Florida. Julian Armella out of the shotgun. Nico in trouble. Look at him. How resourceful is Iamaleava. It's a first down. Thomas. And he gets it inside. Karch in 1984. 84 Olympics. Right here in Los Angeles. That pass caught by Quasi Gilmer. He's going to be 2 yards shy of a first down. A gain of 8. Third down and 2. Thomas. First and 10. Berger the setback. They go trips to the bottom of your screen. Iamaleava with time, now running out. Unloads it late to Berger. Berger, a first down. Oh, what wizardry by Nico. Now first down. 13th play of the drive, over 7.5 minutes long. Berger on a stretch play. As we come to the end of the quarter, Thomas, the setback. He bounces it outside. It'll be stopped shy of the 10 at about the 12. Maybe give him one, and that's about it. 3rd down and 9. Iamaleava, he's got his man. It's Gilmer. And he's got it down to the 4. It'll be about a yard shy. Take us to a Florida Bowl, shall we, on New Year's Day? That's what they're thinking. And UCLA trying to get their 4th win and get bowl eligible. 4th down and 1. Iamaleava all the way into the 1. He's got the first down. Berger is in the backfield with him now. And you called it the Wildcat. It's Berger. Berger takes it in on the Wildcat. Tell you what, he got somebody got a hold of the riches there. And the extra point is good.
Yeah, Nebraska's previous drive, it was 9 plays, right? So they're not quite out of the openers, but it's getting to the end where offensive coordinator Dana Holgorsen is going to start to call this game off the top of his head.
TJ Lateef, the quarterback. Quick slant. It's caught. It's Barney. And it is just shy of the line to make for a first down. About a half yard away, inches away from the first down. Got a play to work with, one would think. Let's see if Dana gets busy here or simply hands it off to keep it going. No, he's going to throw it. And Lateef looking, checks it down and gets the first down on a check down to Emmett Johnson, the sure-handed receiver. That old saying, every day's an audition. Emmett Johnson forges ahead for 3. Our producer, Jake Jolivet, making sure that you're up to date on that Nebraska drive. Going screen underneath to Emmett Johnson. Look out. Look out. Look out. Look out. 56 yards. Touchdown. Emmett getting it done.
Wide receiver, boom, making sure that he gets this start. That's started. That's Isaiah Hunter. And then the big fellas rumbling down the field, moving guys out of the way. Move, get out of the way. My running back is going to the end zone.
Cunanan for the extra point. Well, he had the longest drive of the year for UCLA. He'd be saying, oh, golly, golly, look at those big uglies go. Just knocking them down one by one.
That is good.
Oh, Nelly. And here's the return from Mikey Matthews. And he's up to the 21, and let's go down to Josh Sims. I was Rose Bowl MVP. I never got carried off the field at UCLA. My son's ahead of me, 2-love. And on the rollout action.
I got you.
You got me. That's good. 2nd and 3. Anthony Woods.
It's a 3rd down. They're moving quick.
Very quick. And Woods has the first down. Incredible story against a feisty Penn State team. Thomas. Nothing doing. Penn State was trying to pull for John Butler's defense. 2nd and 10. Nico calls his own number again, and how do you do, Nico? John Butler was having nightmares about him all week. Stopping his feet are the priority for Nebraska defensively. Javion Thomas, the Jet. And I think both teams are playing with the freedom of knowing what their new goals are after what happened in their last games together.
9 to have the football.
Nico's pass, had to get rid of it quickly, incomplete. I think the ball might have been tipped too. Thomas and Frias are in the backfield. The Cornhuskers read that one. Andrew Marshall cutting through there with the initial hit. A big play for the Husker defense.
Nobody's prepared.
And after the ball's turned over on downs, Nebraska from their 40. Great defensive work by the Bruins. He is set behind Lateef. Little zone read concept, and there's TJ going to work. 3rd and 1. Uh-oh, look at this. Harburg, the former quarterback. This pace and this offense is a far cry from what we last saw on the road when we had them in Minnesota.
Absolutely right.
Emmett Johnson again. Boy, he is tough. That's another first down. 1st and 10. I heard you catch yourself there.
Oh, yeah.
You're becoming a grizzled veteran, 98.
I mean, I'm just telling you, that's a compliment to him, is it not?
That's right, no doubt. Mosey. Frazier had 3 running touchdowns in his very last game. 2nd down and 7. Crossing pattern, it's caught by Dane Key. Dane Key unlocks the door and takes it to the 5.
Follow Hargar.
Great work up front by UCLA that time. Isaiah Chisholm coming up, trying to hold him to 3 here.
I would go naked bootleg here. I would get Lateef on the edge.
Out of the I formation, Johnson got it down to inside the 2, not quite the 1. John Vaughns, as only the Gus Bus could call it. 3rd and goal here. Out of the I formation, Johnson dots the I. And he rambles in for the touchdown.
I don't think we've seen this offense move this seamlessly at any point during the season.
No.
This is so impressive to watch with a true freshman quarterback making his first start in the Rose Bowl. They are dominating this football game right now.
The defensive coordinator has UCLA in a position now where they've got to throw the ball in order to move it with only 1 timeout left in the half. No doubt about that. Berger, a healthy gain on 1st down, which is exactly
in the country. However, Nico's legs have really hurt them.
ran into one of his own men that time, and they'll come away with a sack. 1 for 5 on 3rd downs. Nico, out pattern, it is caught. It is Habermill, the tight end. Berger remains the setback. Quick cross, it's caught by Flores.
And it can't be stopped.
Both teams with 1 timeout left. Iamaleava airmailed that one. Yeah, he's getting some looks tonight that he hasn't seen recently. Iamaleava. And again, another overthrow, and his receiver, Jack Peterson, Frias is the setback on 3rd and 10. Calls his own number again. Oh, my goodness. Oh, 1st down. I love you. When he took over, but upon his exit, Neuheisel dialing him up for this kid. He has made Nico a much better player. It's a 1st down again, stops the clock.
Especially on this drive.
And they spike it one more time. Only a second goes off the clock.
So it's going to have to be someone else that spies the quarterback.
Now this is the 11th play of this drive.
Possibly Deshaun Singleton.
Pressure underneath on the check down to Berger. Jalen Berger will get ahead, but the clock goes tick, tick, tick. Frias is in the backfield. Got to utilize the sideline, you'd figure here. And they do. You got to get there, though. Flores has it. This one will be from 49 yards. It's no good. Doc
wait a little longer, though.
And Jolivet's having a conniption downstairs. Their offense is not constructed to come from 3 touchdowns behind against anybody. And Johnson totes it. And he gashes them for a first down with Johnson in the backfield. Extra tight end to block for that guy. And Emmett's got another healthy game. John Vaughn's in their most recent games. 2nd and 3. Steady diet of 21 and a first down to the 49. Gary Smith, in terms of touches, whether it's in the air or on the ground. Play fake. Lateef. Well, after one quick read, he tucks it and goes. As his OC. A little bubble screen to Hunter. And Isaiah has the first down. Well, they've done that so far in this opening drive, Nebraska. UCLA's got to find a way to stymie this attack. Lateef, beautifully done. The wheel route to Johnson. And Johnson.
Of Nebraska's running game on first down, you have to almost overplay it, and it plays right into the hands of Nebraska.
Cunanan for the extra point. Well, Lateef is now 8 for 8, 163 yards.
I have no idea.
Old show in the 60s. Dragnet. Look it up. Or pull a Signetti and just Google it. Here we go with Javian Thomas. Bruins looking for a little something, and he delivers.
He is in what they say his bag tonight.
1st and 10. Let's see what Jerry Neuheisel can pull out of his bag of tricks. Calling these plays for Iamaleava. And a beautiful pitch and catch there. Out to the 49-yard line to Rico Flores, the Notre Dame transfer. His 3rd target of the night.
I mean, just watch this laser. I mean, he locates him and phew! Oh, layered that ball perfectly in between 2 defenders, and a perfect catch by Rico Flores Jr.
Out of the shotgun, Thomas stopped in his tracks. Boy, what a magnificent play by Donovan Jones.
Personal foul. Hands to the face. Number 16 of the defense.
Ooh.
This 15-yard penalty is added to the end of the play with an automatic first down.
Elijah Judy.
And look to the left side of your screen. You can see it's in his face, and it is there for a while. It's going to stay.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Good pickup by the officials.
It was. From the 37, pressure, and Rico goes down. Keona Davis, boy, what a hit that was. 2nd and 18. This is a must drive here for UCLA. They've got to convert something. Woods is open. Beautiful concept by Neuheisel. Woodsy to the house. Touchdown, UCLA.
The poise. You get the football out. This is not a screen. This is a read. He gets to the check down, and when you get to it early, the receivers start to block, and you see Woods to the house.
Well, Rico Flores, number 1, did a marvelous job blocking there.
Blocking their butts off downfield for their teammate.
Ugani missed a field goal earlier of 49 yards. We'll try for the point after. What a job he did. Tonight's Power Player, sponsored by Ram Trucks. Nothing stops Ram. Tonight it's Power Players, and we've got them.
Nice response by UCLA. Let's see if Nebraska can respond.
Can they get a stop is the question. Emmett Johnson stopped after a modest gain of 4 this time. Kevin Coyle, the veteran defensive coordinator of Fresno State backing, has seen this team go down the field on him every time. The only thing that stopped Nebraska's offense was halftime.
Yeah, and on that first down play, after that, they're 10 of 15 on first down production, getting at least 4 yards. But I'm just going to tell you, UCLA's defense, they're satisfied with that stop because the first down plays have been huge in this game.
They were gouging them for 8 and 10 yards on first downs in that opening drive of this half.
They'll take 4.
Johnson again. I mean, he's just lighting it up. That's a first down by 3 yards out to the 38. Roderick Pleasant making the stop.
Tim, I'm just telling you, he does a lot of footwork drills. He does a lot of ladder drills because watch this footwork in the hole, inside, outside, inside, outside. He's done an outstanding job all night, and Nebraska fans know all about him. But like I said, the UCLA fans are finding out about number 21 in white.
Well, those jump stops are tremendous. Everybody else is waggling and he's wiggling. First and 10 from the 38. And good recognition defensively by Jalen Woods. Coming in, the junior out of Compton, California with the tackle. But still a very nice gain of 5.
Yeah, another productive first down play. You can see he's getting that seldom break. He doesn't really get many breaks. When we talked to the coaching staff and said, you know, you guys are really giving him the ball a lot. And he said, listen, he doesn't get tired, right? So they got to keep it in their mind to try to give him a break because he's never going to ask out of the game.
Mosey and Makai Nelson both in, flanking Lateef. And Lateef, little show and go. Good penetration. Key Lawrence will come away with the tackle, but 97 Busick was the guy that fouled that play up.
Yeah, Lateef said, allow me to have this dance with Busick. And he puts him in the blender here. It's another naked bootleg. He gets on the edge a little. Boop, boop, boop. Oh, my goodness. But he does a nice job of trying to corral him and allowing the cavalry to come. And it sets up a seldom third down that we really haven't seen.
Yeah.
Let's see how Lateef responds.
And for UCLA defensively, this would qualify as a 3rd and long.
Yeah.
3rd and 5. This UCLA crowd is trying to match the partisans from Nebraska that made it down from the great Midwest. Lateef on a crossing pattern. It's caught. It's Barney. And he's got a first down into Bruins territory. Mark it at the 47-yard line, a gain of 10.
You just got man coverage. When you're running man coverage, you want to go to the shallow cross, and Barney can just race away from the defense and watch him stop on a dime. Oh, my goodness.
And they're getting the ball out of there so quickly.
Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier.
Johnson, just those legs never stop churning. Ahead for 3. A play that could have been stopped for no gain.
Tim, I'm just telling you, if you try to tackle me, that's how you'll end up, on the ground.
I don't doubt that.
You're not arguing, huh?
That being said,
that's not that impressive, though, by me.
The sad part for me is in a talk-off, you win.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. 2nd and 7. They go heavy again with extra tight ends. Johnson follows, but the Bruins were up to the task that time. And they'll have another 3rd and long. Scooter Jackson coming up, the safety, to help out.
Yeah, Brad Holm, it's technically 3rd and medium, but for UCLA, the fact that they're getting them the 3rd down, this is a 3rd and long, the way this game is going.
Well, you see the anticipation from Tim Skipper. He knows that this defense desperately needs to get off the field.
And when we talked to defensive coordinator Kevin Coyle, he said that is our issue. We have to find a way to get off the football field. They have an opportunity here. Keep your eyes on the legs of Lateef. With a light box, he couldn't run the draw.
They go empty, 5 wides. Crossing pattern. Bruins have it covered. Barney is down. Barney took quite a hit from Key Lawrence, and at long last, the Nebraska punt team will finally be called upon.
If you want to get off the field, I think I have the key, and his name is Lawrence.
Woo.
Let's take a listen in real time. Oh, that's why you love football, Tim.
Yeah, indeed. Archie Wilson will punt it away. His first opportunity. And Mikey Matthews lets it go out of bounds. So a huge stop. And Iamaleava needs another one of those long drives to give his defense a much-deserved rest. Anthony Woods on first down tries to cut it back inside. He'll only get 2. So 2nd down and 8 coming up.
Tim, you want to know how well Nico Iamaleava is playing? He is 82% of the offense.
Yeah.
Obviously, all the passing yards, but he's got most of the rushing yards, too, at 63. I mean, he's playing a really good football game. He's got to get the guys around him to help produce, and so they can lean on them as well.
Flores has been his #1 target. And that's Quasi Gilmer, #3, comes in motion. And he rolls towards him. Goes underneath to Mikey Matthews instead. And he'll be a couple of yards shy of a first down. But again, 3rd and very manageable. 3rd and 2.
They've had success in these short yardage situations with the outside zone with the quarterback. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't go back to that.
We'll call it 3rd and a very short 2. Iamaleava is stopped shy of the first down. This is going to be an interesting decision, and I say that with the understanding that it would be the death nail to put the game on the line at this juncture. A UCLA recruit. 4th down and 1. Barney is back deep. It is a fake. It is a fake. And they got the first down. Forward progress will give it to them. So I saw a little something coming. I did. The up back takes it. 97, Jacoby Busick.
I said it before the play, and Nebraska was ready for it. They were ready, but it's Busick. It's his will. It's his desire. He wants to get this first down for his coach, Tim Skipper. They love him, and they made him look like a genius there.
I just thought there was no way that defense needed to come back on the field now, that quickly. So I had to think that maybe you had to consider 4th down, and the kitchen sink is being lifted, so to speak. Ball is tapped into the air and rejected by Keona Davis. He's some pumped. He is enjoying his night in Pasadena.
Yeah, this is the worst thing for a quarterback. You hate when you see a guy open and then out of nowhere the big paws of a defensive lineman goes up, takes it away.
He wanted to get to his tight end, Habermill. 2nd down and 10. After you convert the way they did on a fake punt, particularly since Nebraska smelled it but couldn't stop it, they really need this first down. There's nothing else to give their defense a little more time to rest. Berger, nice run. And manageable for UCLA.
A lot of 3rd down situations. Nico Iamaleava's legs were very important.
And we got a flag down. False start potentially. Let's see.
The center. Yep.
False start. 64 of the offense. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Sam Yoon.
You know, they had that problem on that 3rd down play that was squashed when they did convert on 4th down. Another mistake here.
Yeah, you're going to see him flinch right in the middle of your screen.
Yeah.
And it just can't happen, right? You're in a position, now you're in this obvious passing situation, and number 71, the right tackle, Ruben Unije, he's kind of struggled protecting the quarterback, so a screen could be in play here.
3rd down and 8. A lot more difficult than 3rd and 3. Iamaleava rolling out. Lets it fly, and it's blocked again. Singleton got it. The youngster, Deshaun Singleton, a product of Hutchinson Junior College, where they put out a lot of great players. Young man from Louisiana.
Hey, Tim, remember I talked about that spy? Where Deshaun Singleton, on that play, he was the spy, and he tracks him all the way across the field. You're going to see him fly into your screen. As Nico Iamaleava is starting to go downhill to make this throw, he flies in, and he stops it from happening.
Well, you know, they've been wondering when the black shirts would show up again for Nebraska defensively. I'd say tonight they have shown up, made some big plays. They may be wearing white, but they're playing like the old black shirts. Carroll to boot it away. End over end to Barney. He nestles it in at the 34, 43-yard boot.
Michael Jackson was here. That's what I took away from that. Michael Jackson played here.
Emmett Johnson back in the backfield, but Lateef takes it himself again, calling his own number. Picks up 2.
That can counter it. There it is.
Lateef with the gun, and it's caught. What a pass. Heck of a completion. 1st and 10. Johnson cuts it back up. Those are the kinds of runs. Makai Nelson and Isaiah Mosey check in now. Lateef getting rid of it quickly as they bring pressure.
He checked his blood. He's human.
Johnson, always good to get to the 1st down on 3rd and short.
You have to have a big stop to put them behind the chains.
Tim Skipper, the son of a coach, his dad, New Orleans. And there's a nice defensive play right there by Cole Martin, number 21 again, getting through there. That was a tremendous coach at the NFL level as an assistant. That pass is incomplete. And they keep it on the ground. Johnson, well, that should indicate to you that they're going to play a little field.
You played so well on defense. Why risk it?
Yeah.
Why put your quarterback in a position? Because remember, the offensive line of Nebraska has struggled throughout the season protecting. So now you have to hold the ball a little longer. Those strip sacks, those different things, you put your quarterback in jeopardy. Get a run play, see what you get, punt the ball away, and allow your defense to play.
Yeah, I think Dana smelled that tip ball and thought, you know what? Let's just play a little field position here.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 7 of the receiving team, his first such penalty of the game. That penalty will be enforced half the distance of the goal. It will be 1st and 10 for UCLA.
Well, I'd love to know what that
Timeout
was.
on the field.
Yeah, so it wasn't super malicious. However, he did flip the ball and hit a Nebraska player. Let's see what it looks like.
Come on.
I don't think that's a penalty. That's not a penalty.
Let it go.
Yeah.
Jamian Thomas is in the backfield, and he's cut down with a shoestring tackle once again. Vincent Shavers, who's been everywhere tonight, kniving through there for loss of 2.
That's a really nice job of him. He's unblocked, right? When you're the unblocked defender, you have to make the play. He's going to come screaming in right on the outside. You can see him shift when the motion goes, but then he reacts quickly and gets downhill and grabs that right leg.
I'm going to be really interested to see how Jerry Neuheisel deals with this now with 2nd down and 12.
You've got to trust your quarterback.
Yeah,
I mean, he's played well to this point in the game. Can you protect is the question.
Yeah. Look at this. Jamian Thomas takes off. He's got a 1st down, got to the 2nd level very quickly. Rex Guthrie, who thankfully, after getting the cobwebs out of his head, able to get back on the field and stop him. Thomas comes up a little gingerly, but he's going to be okay.
On the last play, Vincent Shavers makes the play. This time, number 55, Eugene Brooks, gets to the 2nd level, and it clears out a path.
Thomas again, not much, maybe a yard, and that's all. So only a gain of 1, 2nd and 9 coming up. And I said earlier they need a long drive. Now they need to score, and they need to keep the clock in mind. They need to score and score quickly.
Yeah, you would like to see a little more urgency because they are down 2 scores, and they just don't know how many opportunities they're going to get. Nebraska has done a nice job on offense possessing the football.
Iamaleava is a quarterback that really operates well in a hurry-up. Part of his MO when it's in the seed. Under pressure, gets away again. He's Houdini. He's got a 1st down. Jamin Wright with the tackle, and it's a 1st down 10, UCLA.
What's the line you used earlier? I love you?
Yeah.
I mean, he does a nice job, and Houdini is exactly right. It looks like he's laying down. He starts to fall, but he finds a way to stay on his feet and pick up another 1st down.
13 carries, 73 yards for Nico. It's caught. It's Flowers, the favorite target, and he's got it at midfield. And I don't need to tell Nebraska fans about how they have fared in some really close games in recent years. Up by 3 touchdowns. These fans know it. They were not stopped, and you're beginning to see some pensive looks on the fans of Big Red. I will say during the timeout, our friend Larry, the cable guy, was not pensive. He was very uplifting.
Oh, he was very energetic.
Yes, he was very energetic.
Dadgummit, my team's playing good. Good old Mater. You know I love cars.
Yeah. And we've got Marcus down pre-snap.
Right guard. He moves. He flinches again. Keep taking yards away. You got to force Nebraska to do that.
Again, Iamaleava rolling out, looking to the corner, incomplete for Flores. And it's 2nd and 15.
Yeah, that's a throwaway. He just ran out of space, nowhere to really throw that football, so he throws it away, and you preserve the yardage, right? When you're outside the pocket, young quarterbacks at home, you should never take a sack. Throw that football away, make sure it's past the line of scrimmage, and live to fight another down.
This young man became the first Tennessee freshman to lead a program to 10 regular season victories. And all of a sudden decided to try out the portal. UCLA, the beneficiary. 2nd and 15. Plenty of time. On the crossing pattern, Flores again, and he gets it just shy of midfield. Javen Wright the stop, and because of that penalty earlier, they face another 3rd down and long.
And on that play, if he had just one more beat, he had a deep in route that he could have hit, but a nice job of him, again, finding the check down before the sack can happen.
Got to figure it's 4-down territory for Jerry Neuheisel's offense. Got to score twice, and you got 7 and change and counting.
I wouldn't be surprised if defensive coordinator John Butler sent pressure here.
They only bring 4. He gets away. Nico sees some green grass. Look out. He lets it fly, and it's caught. It's Mikey Matthews. It's a 1st down at the 26-yard line, a 24-yard gain. And the Bruins got something cooking here.
I mean, this is the danger of a running quarterback. You've done everything right. You actually get to him, but you let him out the back door. He comes underneath, and then he throws a strike for a 1st down. A lot of time left in this football game, and UCLA is starting to find their groove with their dual-threat quarterback.
Flags down. And Nico goes down at the 30. And we'll check the marker. Sierra Wright coming through to make that grab of Iamaleava.
Illegal formation. Offense, more than 4 players in the backfield. Penalty is declined. 2nd down.
I tell you, I absolutely fell in love with Tim Skipper when we met with him and that entire staff of his, including his operations man, Ryan McNamee. He's also the DJ for the team. And that's old Noel Mazzoni, who was called up by Jerry Neuheisel. Jerry worked for him at Texas A&M briefly in the time he spent away from UCLA. Noah's one of the great minds offensively of college football. Anthony Woods in the backfield. Nico looking that way, gets it to him, and he surges ahead to the 27-yard line. Stopped by Javen Wright again. And again, we're talking 4-down territory the rest of the night for UCLA.
We've seen what Nico Iamaleava has been able to do on 3rd down with his legs. I imagine that here on 3rd down, there has to be a spy. You absolutely have to have maybe 2 guys, because he is really the only reason that UCLA is in this football game with an opportunity.
TJ Lateef looks on. The youngster from Compton, Cali, has done a great job for the visiting Cornhuskers tonight.
Here's a guy that could be the spy.
A lot of green grass for Nico. A lot of green grass. 1st down and goal at the 10. 16 yards, and Fiona Davis drags him down from behind.
Tim, he could be the spy, but he wasn't. He just backed up into his pass coverage, and it allows for Nico Iamaleava to do the thing that he's done all night. You have to put a spy on him at this point in the game. He is hurting you with his legs. Watch him go through his reads, and then he starts to get on the outside. There is nobody for him, and he picks up another 1st down.
85 yards rushing for number 9 in the Bruin blue and gold. Anthony Frias is checked in. They bring the extra tight end in. Send Flores in motion. Look at this! Frias! 3-man in the end zone! Touchdown, Bruins!
This is man-to-man coverage, but they don't have anyone peel off with the running back. It's a free release for free us, and he frees up some space to get into the end zone.
Devin, I'm just going to say it. Iamaleava has a world of talent. There's no question about that.
Yeah.
But you got to be coached up to play with the kind of freedom he's playing with now.
Jerry Neuheisel.
Jerry Neuheisel is the man. Absolutely. And the decision he made to have Jerry Neuheisel become the play caller since Harry left has just been a beautiful thing. Here's the return by Ja'Cory Boney, and it's a great one. And that gets some of the Nebraska faithful on their feet as he gets to the 39.
So for the first time tonight, there's a flag on the field.
Yeah,
looks like.
I'll check that.
But for the first time tonight, you're going to see TJ Lateef in a position of discomfort, right? In a position where he needs to go put this ball in the end zone.
During the return, holding 54, the receiving team. 10-yard penalty, 1st and 10, Nebraska.
And now he'll be backed up.
Yep. Well, tonight's coaching profile is sponsored by KFC. It's finger licking good. Matt Rule, a notable assistant at several spots, including here at UCLA in 2001. He was coaching with Bob Toledo back then. Over to Temple he went, and then, of course, to the New York Football Giants. His wife was the breadwinner back in those days when he was a GA at UCLA. After being at Western Carolina. Emmett Johnson. Pretty good idea to give it to him. That should be the game plan for Dana Holgorsen, don't you think, the rest of the way? Give it to 21?
Yeah, I talked about TJ Lateef being under pressure, but if UCLA is going to allow Emmett Johnson to get that many yards on first down carries, then there will be no pressure. They will be able to continue to play the rest of this game the way that they have, and they've shown a propensity to be able to put drives together, long drives, and with only 4:21 left, you've got to throw the kitchen sink if you're UCLA.
You're right, and both teams have had so many long drives. You think about it, that faux pas on 3rd down that led to a 4th down stop early in the game.
It was early in the game, but it matters.
That's the difference in the game right now.
It is.
You never know which play can determine the outcome. Johnson again gets the first down up to the 35-yard line, stopped by Pelot. Johnson now with 222 yards.
Now, Tim, you expect with a true freshman quarterback that you would just keep running it. However, if I'm UCLA, like I talked about earlier, I would sell out to stop the run here on 1st down. And if they do that, the counter for Dana Holgorsen was to get Lateef on the edge, also the RPO. When we talked to head coach Matt Rule, he said, listen, we are going to call this game as if we are playing with a veteran quarterback. So if they sell out for the run, don't be surprised if you see this ball in the air.
1st and 10. Out of the shotgun. Quick crossing pattern on the slant to Key, and he's hammered at the moment that he made that catch. It's Key Lawrence with the stop. Johnson with 222 yards of offense. Nebraska, the rest of Nebraska, 113.
As great as that hit was, the linebackers vacate, you replace him with the throw. A veteran decision by TJ Lateef. I told you, Matt Rule said, and it wasn't just coach speak, apparently. We trust him, and we're going to call this game as if he's a veteran, and he's showing some veteran poise.
Absolutely. He and Nico have been the story tonight for both teams. And, of course, Emmett Johnson's a given. You just expect it from him. Rolling out, that one's caught. It's Isaiah Hunter. That's a big first down to the 42 of UCLA, shoved out by Lawrence.
Yeah, and like you just said, this is the game. If they don't stop Nebraska from getting a first down, this game is essentially over.
And they've had to earn it tonight. These Bruins have been, as the old saying goes here, the gritty little Bruins have been just that. Johnson bounces it outside. Boy, is he good. He's really good. And another 9-yard gain. That's your worst nightmare if you're the Bruins before the 2-minute timeout.
Everybody flustered.
Yep.
And then you failed on 4th down the next play.
Yep. Johnson Well, let's see if they give him forward progress for the first down. That'll stop the clock and essentially put the game away. They can get into like victory formation shortly thereafter.
This is going to be a milk situation, right? Where you kind of take the snap, you wait a little bit, and then you take a knee.
40 seconds, 40 seconds, 40 seconds, and 40 seconds is ball game, isn't it?
Yep.
Only thing you can do is, if you're UCLA, is try to peanut Tillman the football out of there. By the way, I got a nice text from our friend Larry, the cable guy. He said, once again, I'm pacing 4 miles on this carpet in the second half. We lose this, I'm back on the hard stuff. The hard stuff being Krispy Kremes.
Well, I don't know. I don't know, Mater. I hope that's not hard. I like my Krispy Kremes nice and soft.
This is a huge win. Now think about this. Matt Rule, with this victory, will get his team to 7-3. They're at Penn State next. They're coming off just a brutal loss, but they get a week off. This is open date week now for them. Then they go to Penn State, and then Iowa, and the rivalry game Thanksgiving weekend. They get to 9 wins. We're talking a Florida Bowl on New Year's Day, and that's a big step up from 7-6 and going to the bowl game at Yankee Stadium, the Pinstripe Bowl. That's a big step up.
And the thing that some bowls look at is your quarterback healthy? Well, Nebraska's quarterback isn't healthy, but if TJ Lateef continues to play like this, that will not be an issue. He was exceptional tonight, and obviously we can't say enough about Emmett Johnson, what he was able to do.
How proud do you think Dylan Raiola is resting tonight?
Oh, my goodness. He probably tried to jump up. He's like, hey, you just had surgery. Sit down, Dylan.
This crowd that made its way here in great number. And the youngster from Compton, California, TJ Lateef, Orange Lutheran High School. Magnificent all-stater and 4-star player, comes away with the biggest win of his life, starting for the very first time very close to home. That's remarkable. And Emmett Johnson had a lot to do with the outcome of this game as well.
Yeah, 100%. And get a chance to see TJ Lateef, that smile is everything.
Yeah, it is.
Getting to see him in the Elite 11 in the summer and watch him compete. And then he comes to Nebraska, who has a true freshman quarterback starting already. That's the kind of confidence you want to see from a kid, a guy that wants to compete. And